Allie here with Studio CRAFTY, showing you how to use our Mandala Stencil with some black texture paste. To get my color palette for behind this stencil, I searched through the hashtag Christina's Oxide Combos and chose two that reminded me of summer days. So I started here with some Speckled Egg Distress Oxide ink using the blending brushes from Studio CRAFTY, and then I'm moving on to Ripe Persimmon and then finishing off at the bottom here with some Walnut Stain Distress Oxide ink. I am going to be covering up the blend a bit with the Mandala Stencil, so I'm not too concerned about getting it perfectly smooth, but I just love the look of these three colors together. Now moving on to my second panel, and you'll see why I did two in a moment here. I'm starting again with the Speckled Egg Distress Oxide ink using the blending brushes from Studio CRAFTY, and then moving on to the Evergreen Bough Distress Oxide and finally Broken China Distress Oxide at the bottom. This color palette really reminds me of those beautiful summer days spent at the lake. Now with the Mandala Stencil, I'm going to attach these two ink blended panels onto a sticky mat vertically and make sure that my stencil is placed half on one and half on the other. I'm also going to use some low-tack tape to cover up the edges of the stencil so that I don't accidentally get texture paste where it's not wanted. Using a palette knife, I'm going to now spread the black texture paste all over the Mandala Stencil. Carefully remove the stencil and set aside to dry. For one panel, I'm using the Best Ever stamp set and the coordinating dies. You can also just use the stamp set because the stamps are very similar to the Best Ever dies. I will adhere the die cuts using liquid glue. For the second card, I'm going to use the Birthday Greeting stamp set. I thought that the Midnight Blue crystals coordinated beautifully with both of my panels here, so using some in a triangle tray, I'm taking out my embellishment wand just to play around with the placement. Once I was happy, I could quickly adhere them with some liquid glue. I wanted a border around my panels, so I chose some craft cardstock and adhered the panels using some CRAFTY adhesive tape. Thank you for joining me today to take a look at our Mandala Stencil and how it can be used with some black texture paste. Hope you found some crafty inspiration. Visit studiocratyablog.com for more information. See you next time!